Hi, I'm Anita Breen, and this is my presentation on understanding my community. I've chosen Minneapolis, which is the community that I'm going to be teaching in next year. Minneapolis, Kansas. That is a town that I grew up in, lived all my life, and I'm glad to be able to go back there. It is a small town community, mostly agriculture, I would say, although later the facts won't show that, but most of the people in town, most of the land in the county is agricultural land. It's a very conservative town, um, more conservative people there, very supportive of school events, great attendance. When I say when I say that, it's mainly because it's family. People that live there have lived there their whole lives. Their kids come back to settle there. They might not work in the town. They might work in a neighboring bigger city that's about 23 miles away, but they choose to live there because they like the hometown feel. So at sporting events or school events, you have the participants, you have their parents, you have their grandparents, maybe their great grandparents, aunts and uncles. So there's a lot of support because it's really a family-based town. Religion is very important. You will see religion in our newspaper every single week talked about. Sometimes the editor, he'll bring those views into his letter each week. And the town is very helpful to those in need. We had about 3 to 4 weeks ago a tornado that kind of went through, and it took some trees down and landed on cars and created a lot of problems in town. And everybody came together and helped and cut trees and moved them, and farmers brought their tractors in and hauled out all the branches and the great big pieces of wood. And it was really good to see the support that the community gives each other. Population in Minneapolis is about 2,040. It's about 50-50, which kind of was surprising because I think when you look around and see people, I see more females, but really about half and half. The median age is 40. It's mostly agriculture and manufacturing community. 86.6% of the community has a high school diploma or higher. The median household income is $46,739. 12.8% of the population is below poverty level. And it's a predominantly white community, 96.1%. And it has always been that way. I think growing up, I can just remember one couple who are African American, and they still live there, but they were the only ones. Primary communication in the town for the community itself would be our newspaper. For school, we use the newspaper. We have a school website, webpage, some email. We have a local TV channel that will display sports events, church. It's not live, it's taped and played within a week. We have an all-call message system at the school that sends out emergency information to parents, school closings, anything that they need to know. They just send the information out and it rings at home and you get that information. Just mainly used for urgent information. And we have local news channels and weather closings, and that would be using the internet or TV. Also, the all-call message. In our town, there is a jail who's housing more inmates from other counties because we don't have that many, and it's kind of a way to raise some revenue. And they built a new one, knowing that they bring these inmates in and get some extra money. And there was a break here this last year. 3 got out, and that's one reason that that all call worked very, very well, because they could alert parents that this happened. It was early in the morning before kids were getting up, getting to school, letting them know school was not going to take place, that they need to stay indoors or whatever. So that was a good way to get that information out to them. Some of the community groups would be the Chamber of Commerce, Lions Club, VFW. They do a lot of fundraising and help members of the community. Chamber of Commerce is really, I think, pretty much every business in town is a member of the Commerce. Booster Club, the Lionbackers is our booster club, and they are very, very active at all events, raising money and being able to give money back and help support the schools. Love Inc. is a great organization that provides food. They have a food bank. They give clothes out. Somebody new in town doesn't have a place to stay, they hook them up, give clothes, you name it. They're really, really good and good support in the community. Our fair board does a really great job for providing a nice fair in the summer and helping the 4-H groups. We haven't been able to have a carnival for probably the last couple years. 3 years, I guess. 3 years ago, they weren't able to have a carnival in town because it just got too expensive. So the fair board 2 years ago decided that they would start raising some money to try to buy some rides and then take volunteers from the community to run them, and not just rides, but you know, throwing or tossing a ring on a bottle or whatever, just some things to do that the fair board was going to sponsor but needed people to run it. And it was a really good success last year. We had enough parent volunteers to make it successful. And of course, the support for the school is our school board. And the PTA is very, very good as far as helping out, giving things for teachers. The KNEA and NEA are also great support for education. The leader in our town is a woman named Virginia Hoover. She's the mayor. She's been the mayor, I think this is her 3rd term. And she's supported by a city administrator and the city council. The leader of the schools is our school board, and they are very, very active, and parents, their children are in school, so they do want the best for the schools. The people who are influenced by leadership, I think, are the patrons, the citizens, the parents, administration, teacher, staff, and the school board. You know, this summer I was able to go into the school, even though I won't even start there till this next fall. They were wanting to do some Common Core alignment with the math and then the reading, and I assisted with the math part. And you know, last year the school board had told the teachers that they weren't going to be able to get new textbooks because of funding. But after we showed what we need to do to meet Common Core with what we have, and looking at a different textbook that pretty much had it all, we laid it all out, took pictures of it, sent it to each board member, and then had the superintendent and the board members come up and look at that to make a decision. So when I say that they're the leaders, they are the leaders, but they are also influenced by the teachers. They look for us for guidance to set and say, no, we don't have the funds for this, but then to look at and say, wow, this is what it's going to take to get the stuff done. So sometimes what you say, how you present it, can influence them and get them to change their minds on some things. The mayor, like I said, this is her third time as mayor. She's a lifetime resident of our community. She's got grandchildren who are in the community. She's now retired. The mayor or the city administrator aren't involved really in the school politics, but they're very active in the community, of course. The school board members are actively involved in school matters, and they're easily available to visit with when you need to. They have an open door policy, call. I have a child with disability. I had the issues when she was in school. I called them. I wrote them letters. They called me. They were very easy to talk to. The county is mostly comprised of agriculture land, as far as if you look at square feet of the community. The city industry, the city itself, is 30% manufacturing. Like I said, I think there are 4 or 5 big manufacturing companies in town. 12% retail, 11% construction, and 10% public administration. Our unemployment rate is 5.7%. The median house value is $83,455, which to me was very surprising. There must be some houses that are really up there that are making that be the middle, because as I go around town, or the house values are just up because it seems like a lot for that little town. And the property tax, the median property tax is $1,343. Our current sales tax rate is 8.3%. I found that the cost of living index is 80.6 compared to the United States, which is 100, so it was on the low side. Might be why more people want to move there and not in the city, bigger cities. Our community, as I said earlier, is very conservative. It's mostly Republican dominated. Our property taxes show the mill levy rates are 20 for schools, the general fund, 26.069 for additional for schools, and then 7.209 on bonds and interest for schools. And the community is just great as far as doing what they need to do to help schools. When we needed extra room, you know, they had no problem doing a bond to raise some money so that we could put an addition on. They really, I say that you know, sports, they've been wanting a new gym forever. It's been a long time since I was in school, and they were fighting to get a new gym then, and they didn't ever, you know, the county didn't. That didn't, I guess the money that it was going to take to do that at the time didn't really benefit as many people as maybe more classrooms, so that the class sizes were smaller. They did just redo the gym this summer, so eventually you get it, but I think they look at what the needs are first. And really, in the small town, there are few social tensions. I would say if there are any, they're probably due to a misunderstanding, maybe a social class competition, and that could be even within its own class. You know, I don't know, as far as like cliques, if any, due to socioeconomic status and extracurricular activities. You know, if there's a clique, it could be the sports people who do that. I think you see that everywhere, actually. I don't really see so much of, I have this, you don't have that. It's more, we hang together because we do things together is what I see. The crimes in the town mostly are just theft. And I think the theft rate was like 24%, or there were 24, I think, in the last year. And that wasn't so much in the town, it was out in the community, in the country. And actually, we were one of them that our farm had gotten broken into, our shed, and a bunch of tools stolen, and there were a lot in our area. So that's the main crime, I guess, in the area. And we do have 4 registered sex offenders in our community. That probably in itself could be a social tension, because we protect our own and we look out for them, and knowing that there are people in there who have harmed little kids or other people makes the community a little wary of having them there. So overall, really good community, great place to be in. It's small enough, everybody knows everybody, and I'm just really excited to be able to get started next year there. Thank you.